based on your arrest disclosure or based on a protective order.
Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Not Your Average Joe, and if you're watching, it's probably because you're here for part 2 of this video. If you haven't seen part 1, I'm gonna link it right up here. It's also gonna be in the description. I highly suggest you go watch that one first because it'll make more sense with where I'm going. By no means am I trying to disrespect anybody. I'm just trying to clear my name personally because I think it's really important to leave a clean slate wherever you go. So I'm gonna call student conduct now and we're gonna see what they have to say about the situation. So fingers crossed and wish me luck. Hey guys, I just finished filming part 2 of that my school thinks that I got arrested, falsely that I may add, and I got off the phone with student conduct and I learned a lot and they had a lot to teach me and to tell. I'm really excited for this to come out. I'm gonna be staying up all night editing. I have a prior engagement right now, but tomorrow it will go live, I promise. So I'm editing this video and it's the hardest one I've ever made for a couple reasons. I sat down with my parents and had a conversation and, you know, this might not be the best way that I want to, you know, broadcast myself on the internet, but I was like, I really want to pull through with this story because I learned a lot and I, you know, was humbled with education and whatnot based on just the way like the system works. And I had a fantastic, productive conversation with an excellent person from student conduct. But it's just really hard to try and, you know, fit these pieces together in a way that comes across clear, concise, and meaningful. And I think I have a plan for it, but it's just going to take a while. Okay, so I did have a 25-minute conversation with the representative from student conduct, and it went fantastically. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna include the whole 25-minute phone call. I don't think you guys wanna sit through that. So basically what's gonna happen is that I'm just gonna walk you guys through basically what happened, and I'm gonna include certain voice clips. Just because before when I was, you know, editing it, I was doing some jump cuts just to cut out some time, but I felt like I was manipulating some of the words he was saying, and, you know, the phrasing, and it just didn't sound organic. So it just didn't sound like a very convincing argument from what he said. So basically what I'm gonna do is just give you the quick rundown of what happened. And if you guys wanna see the full 25-minute video, I will definitely upload it for you guys later. I just need to have you guys tell me that you wanna see it, and with no problems at all, I will put it up on the YouTube. So a lot of you may be asking why I'm making a part 2 to this video and why I didn't just let it go. I originally wasn't really going to make a part 2, but an RA friend of mine saw part 1 and said, hey, you should really follow up with this because something's a little off here and I don't really understand it. And I quote,
"That's not something that you want to have on there."
So I was thinking, would it be petty if I went after this and tried to figure out, you know, what the situation is? And I thought, you know what, if I approach the situation with an open mind, dignity, and respect, then I should be able to find the answers that I'm looking for. So the way I'm gonna do this is that I'm gonna record this right now. I have 35 minutes of footage right here. I'm just gonna walk you and talk you through the situation, and through this, me talking to you right now, I'll insert clips of what he said. I might mess up a little bit, so I'm sorry, but that's just YouTube. Okay, so basically the way that Virginia Tech student conduct used to run is that they would send out this email to anybody that had a conduct referral meeting that was resulting in like a resolution. The way that he described it basically was that it's on record that I went in for the meeting, but then there were nothing pressed against me on my account.
You weren't found in violation of any policies, of course.
Well, what I was told before wasn't exactly correct about, you know, the numbers being set in the system and someone inserted them wrong. I'm confused still though because I've had friends that have actually gotten in trouble and they've gotten a much different email. However, they recently have changed the vernacular because it was becoming a problem, and I'll put it in that clip right here.
At the time, that was the language that we had in those meetings. The language is a lot more general now, really to avoid that confusion. That sort of stuff's been changed. We're trying to make it more general now so people have a better understanding of why they're coming through the process.
Because basically they were having trouble with kids being concerned that, you know, that you had to turn in some kind of arrest record and whatnot, which just isn't the case. So it was just a mistake and a flaw in the system. I was right before when I said that the same people that were there 3 years ago are not the same people that are there now. And I was correct to assume that because he was in fact not there at the time, which is totally okay and totally understandable. And he didn't know how things were held before. He was basically just saying that he can imagine that before people would have the same kind of concerns. So I don't think my case is the first one that's been through his office that's been like this.
Of course, I've only been in this office for years, so I can't really speak to how this went before. But I would imagine that they kind of received similar inquiries before saying, hey, I didn't submit an arrest disclosure. Why does it say I did?
So another question that I asked him was, coming up, people are going to be graduating, and if they ever do a background check, what will a future employer see? Because there are a lot of jobs in this area that require background checks, security clearances. You don't want to see this kind of thing on your record. So basically he said that after 5 years, when those people from the agencies will come by tech and ask for your record, they will say there is nothing to report.
Yeah, so let's say, for example, you're doing a background check now point like 5 years down the road, and they ask if you violate any policies. We would say there's nothing to report.
Which I guess is a great thing. You just kind of have to wait it out.
You aren't found in violation of any policies, of course.
That seems a little bent out of shape, but I'm really happy that they changed it. Believe me, I really am. But I'm still kind of confused as to why, if, I didn't do anything illegal, then before they come back and say there's something to report, there will be something to report within that 5 years. You know what I mean? So then I went on to ask if it was actually a registered conduct referral meeting, why did, my parents not get a letter home? And this is what he had to say.
We don't really have preponderance of evidence to determine that a policy violation occurred. There was no letter sent home to your parents, for example, because there were no status sanctions and there were no policy violations.
But basically the bottom line is that instead of a conduct referral, it was a conduct conversation. And there weren't enough options to file under one specific one, so that's just the way that it went. I'm just really confused still, honestly, and I hope that I can make this appear coherent to you, but I just really wanted to go in and make sure that we all understood we were all on the same page. And I'm really, really happy that they changed that vernacular. I'm gonna keep coming back to that and keep saying that because I think that every organization can improve, and this is a great step that you can pinpoint the conversation, and before you go into your meeting, you'll actually know what the situation is and what's going on. In conclusion, no, I have never been arrested. No, I have never been convicted. And no, I'm not violating parole. It was just a messed up system that needed to be fixed, and it has been fixed. I think it's really important that you follow up on things like this and get clarity, just so you know for yourself that you're living your best life and you're trying to portray the best person that you can be. And I really want to give a special shout out to Student Conduct for explaining this whole situation to me. I know it took a while, but I really want to thank this gentleman who knew what he was doing, knew what he was talking about, really knew his job, and cared enough to give me this explanation because it's a win-win situation. Everybody won here, which is great. And I'll say it one last time. I'm happy the system has changed. I think that that is a great thing. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up so I know that you stuck with me through this entire ordeal. I want to give a special shout out to people that were telling me to do it, go for it, not to be afraid, and to, just find a resolution to the problem. So, thanks guys. Okay, see you next time.
If you have any other questions, feel free to stop in, call us, whatever you need.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and go Hokies.
Go Hokies. Take care.
You too.